Married men, what are the unspoken rules for a successful marriage? 1. You need to actually believe in your partner. They are human just like you and should love you for the good and bad that makes you up. You want someone to be in the trenches with when everything feels like it's falling apart. 2. Don't stop being a couple. Be friends, have inside jokes, don't lose your own friends, have dates, have sex in risky places, and be bold. Have fun until you die together. Marriage isn't the end of your boyfriend and girlfriend phase. 3. No one wants to speak this answer, because it is useless to help anyone improve their marriage. But the most important factor in a good marriage is choosing the right spouse in the first place. Someone who shares your values, who matches your level of, for lack of a better word, selflessness or selfishness, and someone who is going to grow in the same direction that you do over many years. That last one depends a lot on good luck. 4. Show your partner that they matter. 5. It's never you against her. It's always you and her against the problem or world. 6. I have learned to not default into problem-solving mode whenever she wants to discuss an issue. I now ask if she wants me to listen or problem-solve, which has helped avoid further frustrating her and improved our communication. 7. Create your own spaces. It's perfectly fine to have your own hobbies, don't need to drag your significant other to forcefully participate in activities. 8. If something's wrong, tell your partner, and assure them that they can do the same. It sounds simple, but so many people keep things trapped inside, and it ruins marriages. 9. Always buy vanilla essence and not imitation vanilla. 10. The marriage comes first. Before friends, career, family, and even your kids. The best support you can give your kids is for them to live with two parents who love and appreciate each other. 11. Always be respectful, even when you disagree about something. Avoid saying and doing hurtful things. Know your partner's top 2 love languages, and be sure that you are satisfying them. When your partner is talking, pay attention, listen and learn. When there's an issue, work together to find a resolution instead of blaming each other. Keep some fun in the relationship even when you've been together for years. 12. Always have her back in public. Save the disagreements for when you get home. 13. Any expectation you hold for your wife, you ought to hold for yourself. If you expect her to be fit, you ought to be fit. If you expect her to be supportive, you need to be supportive. If you want her to be frugal, you need to be frugal. 14. Never ask your wife to do anything that you can, or should be able to, do for yourself. This is an obvious courtesy that you ought to extend to everyone, but there are a shocking number of, since you're over there or, since you're already up can you dudes on Reddit. 15. Always be the harder working partner. And by work I mean work on the family, work on the relationship, or work on the house. Most women do a lot of work that you've been trained not to see, so if you focus on being the harder working partner you'll get things about actually equal. 16. Later is never. When you're living alone it's okay to do laundry or dishes or whatever later. But that's thoughtless when you share a space with others. Doing the dishes later means she'll have to do them before she can use the sink. Don't be that guy. 17. Believe in duocracy. In a democracy, you get a say in how things happen by voicing your opinion. In a marriage, you get a say in how things happen by doing them. Whoever cooks decides what's for dinner. 18. Set priorities. My wife and I choose an A career and a B career. The person with the A career can work longer hours and has a responsibility to, A, make more money, and, B, a gun for promotion and raises. The person with the B career has a responsibility to, A, be flexible, and handle household emergencies, and, B, aim for increased flexibility. Now you don't need to do things that way, but everybody in a relationship needs to know what position they're playing, since a marriage will eventually accrue all kinds of responsibilities, kids, aging relatives, disability or incapacity, etc. 19. Don't be bad at crap. A lot of guys seem to think that being good at one thing somehow compensates for being bad at something else. No. Being a great programmer and making a ton of money does not somehow compensate for being an inattentive husband or father. In a relationship, you are way better off being okay at everything than being great at some things and terrible at others. 20. Even though you're married, you should still date your significant other, and still, plan little trips or dates or little things. Those moments are what made her fall in love with you also, it never hurts to do the little things, like making coffee, filling the tank, unloading the dishwasher, take the dog out, etc., to just start her off on the right foot. 21. Don't complain about or make fun of your spouse behind their back. When talking to coworkers, friends, family, etc., always speak highly about them and give them the respect and admiration that you'd want in return. 22. Counseling shouldn't only be the last step before the divorce. My wife and I go to a few sessions a year. Just like changing the oil in your car, maintenance by a professional is always cheaper than a new motor. 23. If you're intrigued by someone else, stay the EFF away. 24. Always keep wanting your wife. The secret is to always choose your wife, no matter what. When you're upset, don't run to another woman and vent or have any communication because that leads down dark paths. Walk away and breathe, then return and apologize for what happened and communicate. Always keep things spicy and interesting, but don't push it. Communicate about including toys and role-playing. Always help around the house even if she is a stay-at-home mother because she's not your mother. Do chores when you can or every day to help. Always kiss her goodnight and good morning, tell her you to love her and appreciate her for all she does. Massage her shoulders and feet at least once a month, maybe more. Cook for her and the family because you're half the chef as well. Sorry for the random rambling, but overall you get the idea. Being married is all about sacrifice, communication, trust, and working together. 25. Make her really laugh. And love her laugh. The easier it is for you to make her laugh, the better. 26. Respect for both her space and time. I know so many men who would just do what they wanted and expect everything to be done for them. All those men are now divorced. Women want a partner, not a man who still needs his mommy. 27. Know yourself first. In my first marriage, I didn't really know who I was, or how to express what I wanted whenever it differed from what she wanted. This leads to my second point: don't get married quickly. Sure, there are some success stories, but I learned the hard way that some people take time to show their true colors. By the time my ex did, it was too late. We had children. 28. You don't need to spend every waking moment together. It's okay for you or your partner to have friends and hobbies that don't include each other. Also, always communicate and make sure you make each other laugh. 29. Lot of good answers here. And odd ones. I'm 31, have been with my wife for 13 years, and married for 10 of those years. If I could sum up what's made our marriage successful into a rule, I'd say don't treat your spouse like crap. It's kind of a catch-all. And always be honest. If you can't be honest with them, you can't be honest with anyone. 30. Love her unconditionally. It is not 50-50. It is 100-100. The problem with 50-50 is that you are always trying to balance the scales. I did this, so she should do that. You are not roommates. She is your soulmate. 31. Be a little bit deaf. Sometimes, in the heat of the moment, people say things that can resonate in our heads for days, weeks, or a lifetime. Learn to be a bit deaf and attribute it to rough days. Do not overuse this skill so much that you are being verbally abused. There is a difference. 32. Maintain separate friend groups and work functions, even volunteer opportunities. You need things to talk about because if you know everything that happened, it's gonna be boring. Overuse of this skill is when you are never home. 33. Make it normal to fantasize. In the bedroom or out. Be playful. When a guy catches her eye in public and you catch her, keep it light and airy. I bet he washes dishes better than me now. If she is flirting with everyone, then you can't, unless that's your thing. 34. The bills, dishes, laundry, groceries, kids, and pets are shared duties. Everyone pays, everyone cleans, and everyone everything to make a house work. Sure, she prefers to fold laundry because I suck at it, but I have folded laundry and watched her refold hers. She pays my bills when I fixed the cars earlier in the month. Everyone everything. 35. Flirt. At 7 a.m. When she just got out of bed and doesn't feel so pretty. 36. Know how to fight properly and with respect. Fights will happen, that's unavoidable, keep it respectful. 37. If you are touching or holding hands while speaking hard truths, it's easier for both of you. Without physical contact, you're more likely to raise your voice or get frustrated. There's a part of your brain that will actively try to distance you from intimate relationships, like friends, lovers, and family. Fight it, touch each other and connect when you talk. Hold each other. Hug. Hold that hug. Sex will diminish, contact doesn't have to. 38. Separate blankets. Source, 13 plus years married. 39. Don't forget that you're still two different people with different hobbies and your own time. Live and let live. 40. Every time you think about how they drive you crazy when they do or don't do that one thing, remember that they have a similar list for you, so chill out. 41. I'm not a Christian, but if you actually take this Bible verse to heart, it's a pretty darn good guideline for marriage and relationships in general. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. 42. Just because something can be said, doesn't mean it needs to be said. Words hold a lot of power and weight, especially to your spouse. There may be situations, disagreements, or conversations where I've definitely thought of a comment that really doesn't need to be verbalized because it was more for my pride or having the last word. Regardless of the intention, it would do more harm than good. 43. Be very careful what you say in anger. You can never take those words back. Better to cool off and reconsider the situation before commenting on it, than to say something you don't really mean that will never be forgotten. 44. Do not assume. Communicate. 45. Happy spouse, happy house. Meaning both of you need to be happy. 46. It is okay to set expectations for what you want. 47. If your partner has faults before marrying them, only marry them if you can handle those faults and not changing. There is no guarantee a person will change those things even if they try hard. 48. For me, having very aligned parenting values has been a godsend. We both wanted children. We both knew how we would raise them. So we rarely argue about childrearing. 49. Dating your partner is important. You got to keep the romance, otherwise the mundanity of life will kill your relationship. 50. Love your partner in their love language, not yours. 51. Maintain your friendships outside of marriage. You still need your friends, even if those relationships evolve. 52. Keep friends who are supportive of you having a healthy relationship. Those friendships are clutch. 53. Lots of people are saying what I came here to say, so I'll say something that they haven't said. Have sex or be intimate often. At least once a week. One of you may have a higher libido than the other. Meet somewhere in the middle. Make it a priority. 54. Separate bathrooms. 55. Feed her regularly to avoid hangry conversations. If you are experiencing hostility and you have no idea why, this is it like 90% of the time. 56. 90-10 rule. Give 90, and expect 10 in return. If you both do this, all good. 57. Fighting and discord are normal if you are make up and genuinely apologize. Contempt and disgust are not normal and are likely irreconcilable. 58. An apology without a corresponding honest attempt to change behavior is emotional manipulation. 59. You actually need to like your spouse. I say that as a woman who actually married a dude who didn't like me as a person. He found me hot, I brought good income to the table, I cooked, and I cleaned. But he didn't like me. He also didn't like himself. You also need to find someone who will allow you to be completely honest and vulnerable with them. Someone who you will be comfortable sharing your deepest secrets with. Someone who will cherish you. And remember, physical beauty fades, 40 plus, and you might be stuck with the meanest witch or bastard around town. Don't let that happen. 60. A marriage is basically talking and shagging. If either stops, you've got problems. So be physically and emotionally available. Both of you, or it won't work. 61. Almost every fight could have been a conversation if it had been had earlier. 62. Never stop improving yourself. You, as a snapshot in time, does nothing to keep the relationship going far into the future. You should both be evolving. No one is perfect, not you or the other person in the relationship, so make sure if you make a mistake, and you will, that you learn from it and grow as a person. 63. Date nights at least once a week. 64. Keep track of when her time of the month is. Once you realize the reason she's acting insane, you can avoid countless unnecessary arguments. 65. I've been married for 25 years. Pick your battles. Life is long. Make it happy as much as possible. 66. From what I learned from a 4-year relationship and seeing my parents' marriage, never stop doing the small things. Buy flowers, go out on ice cream dates, get tacos from a taco truck and enjoy them in the back of the car while having a conversation. I promise you it's these small things that matter the most. 67. Find ways to constantly remind her how you feel and that you're not ignoring her. A quick affectionate squeeze of her shoulder or hand, slowing down as you pass her in a chair to scratch her back or head for a moment, that sort of thing. There are hundreds of ways to remind her throughout the day that you're happy she's there. Learn what she'll accept and what annoys her. 68. Your spouse is more important than arguing. My wife has had some convictions that at first just seemed nonsensical to me, and my first response was to rebuttal. But if instead I just ask her about her conviction and try to understand it, an argument is almost always avoided. One of two things happens. She starts to hear herself and realize it's silly while she's talking, or I start to realize she actually has a really good point. 69. Choose discomfort over resentment. If something is bothering you, don't avoid it. 70. Don't let others who aren't invested in the relationship weigh in on your business. If they don't have a degree in psychology or any experience in counseling, don't readily listen to them. After you and your spouse talk about your relationship, how much follow-up is anyone actually competently able to provide? Don't talk about your relationship with your family, friends, co-workers, or gas station attendants. Why did marriages used to last longer? People knew how to keep their mouths shut and mind their own business. 71. Actually listen to them. If you have a bad memory like me, write down dates, gift ideas, etc. It's the little things. Figure out your chore balance with your partner, but also offer to help out. A common refrain is, "What can I do to help?" Make your partner feel special and important. 30 minutes ago I sent a text, "I know Mondays are rough. Let me know what I can do to help. I love you so much." And those little things add up hugely. My wife mentions all the time that she is so happy because of the little things I do that show I love her. Big gestures are well and good, but seeing that I cleaned up the kitchen or vacuumed the main floor are those day-to-day acts that help strengthen the relationship. 72. Always remember, if you make the decision not to do something, chores, errands, etc., you're also making the decision that your partner has to do it. This life is hard enough for two people to get by, let alone one person doing it all. The moment teamwork ends is the moment you start down the path to failure.